I just got here and it's time to talk about Mushoku Tensei, and wow, huge reveals with this episode. Just kind of put into perspective how much we do not know about everything that has happened so far. And honestly, the scene between Rudy finally seeing the girl in the mask again, just yeah, that experience, to say traumatized him would be an understatement. What happened between him and Orsted back in season 1, and we're gonna talk more about that. But this episode has a lot of exposition, a lot of information dump, which brings us some answers but a lot more questions about everything. And I kind of felt a bit like Sylvie, if I'm being honest, that while she was in the room and they were speaking in Japanese. But let's get into it and talk about it. Now, at the start of the episode starts pretty innocent. We see Porcena and Rudy playing around in school, and Sylvie always paying attention every time Rudy was doing everything and thinking to herself, so these are the types of girl that Rudy likes. Poor Sylvie. I can't wait for the reveal even more after this episode. And while they go back, we have them dropping a bomb, so to say, to Ariel and Luke. They both of them kind of assumed Rudy knew who Fitz was in relation to Sylvie being the same one, but she reveals, no, I didn't tell. Which, yeah, makes a lot of sense for both of them right now. And I like that Ariel left everything to Sylvie, how she's gonna handle that situation. But I'm still very suspicious of Ariel. I still don't know a lot about her. I hope moving forward into the story she's gonna play a lot bigger role probably into the future, but I have my eyes on her. She's very suspicious about that. But this episode is not about her. It's more about the main plot of the story, so to say. Rudy researching the incident, the teleportation, which seems to be very similar to a summoning, but also with some differences there. The more he was researching, the more it was looking like that, and even goes to ask Fitz. She was daydreaming, thinking about what to do between herself and Rudy, but there's somebody that might be able to help them. This summon specialist, Silent 7-star, and I was like expecting this is gonna be like an old guy, a master of some sorts, I don't know, explaining to them, maybe somebody at the school, I don't know, but this is was a huge reveal what happened next. But even more because of how Rudy set up some expectations going into that meeting before he knew who was in. Because apparently he heard of the name in school, and they are doing a lot for the school, doing improvements, changing how things work, but very similar to how the original world was, like systems, the way to look at things and think about things, just like Japan or our real world, like how systems work and logistics and organizing skills there. And made me think, is this another person that got isekai'd here? Which is close to the truth, but not fully close in a way. Now, the reveal was insane. I love this scene so much. She is the girl in the mask that was with Orsted. She's Silent 7-star here at school. She seemed like she was at home there, and Rudy having that realization just brought on a full-on panic attack, him trying to run away, which was very understandable considering he died to Orsted. Orsted killed him and brought him back here, it's revealed. But seeing something like that just triggered everything out of him, and I couldn't even imagine, hey, just a normal day, you're going about your day, and then you meet somebody that was not responsible, part of you dying, so to say there. Just that reaction was so good, and the way they did it, and just collapses down full on panic attack, but wakes up in the perfect way, getting a lap pillow from Sylvie, calming him down while he was waking up. And this is where Sylvie, she felt like the audience in a way, because we get a lot of reveals here where it was happening, but she had no information. She didn't know anything. She didn't know about the Orsted thing. She wasn't speaking the language a bit further into the episode, but she was very curious. She was there to support Rudy. But this is where a lot of information dump happens, expositions with everything, thanks to the girl revealing that she was the one that saved him and saying something very curious. It's gonna be a while before Orsted comes for him, and I'm like, wait, what? Back down a bit. So Orsted is gonna come for Rudy, not necessarily to kill him depending on his action, according to Nanahoshi was her name, the girl, but Orsted is definitely coming, so the Terminator is coming for Rudy here. And I can't wait for that. I'm really curious what's going to happen between them, because I hope there's gonna be more of a conversation probably this time, as opposed to what happened last time with Orsted instantly going for the kill. I liked the previous episode with Bodyguardy actually having more of a rapport and conversation with Rudy, but Orsted just kill him and be done with it. What happened back in season 1. I can't wait for the next time they meet together, but that's probably into the future. Now she has 3 questions for him. Do you recognize 2 names, Shinohara Akito and Kuroki Satoshi, and their Japanese names? Now Rudy doesn't recognize them, but her second question being, do you know this language, and asking him which one of these 2 are you. Neither. The only answer he had was that he knows Japanese. So she's looking for 2 other persons that were sent to this world, or finding out. But every time you ask a question, you also reveal more about yourself, so to say. That's how it goes. Your goals, what you're looking for, how you go about looking for that thing, which says a lot about her. But she finally takes off the mask, and apparently it seems like she is the girl that Rudy tried to save in his original life, when he died there being run over by the truck, with her name being Nanahoshi Shizuka. Which even more the mystery deepens, because apparently she spared him what happened during with Orsted. She got a bit more friendly with him after she realized he's also from another world. She was really happy she wasn't alone. She also has had her own troubles, to say the least. But is she actually the girl that Rudy tried to save? They're alluding to that, but I don't think they realize it, because we have more of the information as the audience. I don't think they actually realized it there. But she was really happy not to be alone, and wanted instantly, like, cheered up, let's work together and get back there. But I knew how Rudy was gonna react to this, because he doesn't want to go back. So they're similar but also very different at the same time. But the cutest and most innocent thing throughout the episode was Sylvia speak a language that she knows. She was so cute and oblivious during this episode. I love that so much. But after this, Nanahoshi finally starts to reveal more about herself. Apparently she was teleported here, not reincarnated like Rudy was. He was reborn again. Here he actually has alive, revealing the fact with the accident, both of them having similar circumstances with how they ended up here, but in different ways. Rudy had a whole life, a new life here, but she ended up in some unknown place, and Orsted took her in, and they went around the world in 1 year using some teleportations and the ruins, which she can't really reveal more about them. She doesn't want to do it, but she also doesn't really know a lot about them, so to say there. But I'm really curious, why did Orsted took her in? Maybe he was interested in her, how she got there, but also journeying around the world with her to look for those 2 persons she was looking, and she was the one that asked Orsted to bring him back. And even the way it happened, the attack there, revealing a bit more that Orsted has a personal grudge against the man god, which just goes to show that we really don't know anything. Now, the man god obviously is the most suspicious character in the series so far. Everything that we know about him, the way he acts, the way he kind of helps Rudy, but the more I feel like he's leading him somewhere which Rudy might not be good for him. And yeah, there's so many suspicious things about the man god, but also with Orsted. Basically have like legit zero information. Yes, he's the dragon god, but what is he trying to do? What happened between him and the man god? Why did he instantly attack Rudy? Why was he willing after that to bring him back with Nanahoshi's suggestions there? With this episode, just insane how many questions I have after this episode, to say the least. Them being able to travel the world in 1 year with the teleportations ruins there. But more about Nanahoshi. Someone told her, so we have another suspicious, interesting character, that somebody else summoned her to this world, but she can't say who told her about that someone. So the plot thickens more and more. Who is this mysterious character? Is he related to the man god? Telling him about this, with her not even knowing this. Is it some other third faction, so to say, not with Orsted and not with the man god? Who is this mysterious someone? But she has a very different situation than Rudy. Apparently, if they do anything, they are foreign objects in the world, like the antibody of the world, like we have the immune system, is the world is gonna erase them if they try to alter history, do anything along those lines. But at the same time, got me thinking. Rudy seems to be like the exception, because he had a second life here, reincarnated, reborn. He's not like a foreign object. He might have the memories, the mind from the previous world, but he's also part of this world, being reborn again into it. So he affected history, but the world wasn't really against him, unless Orsted is part of that world, and maybe that's why he tried to kill him. But I don't think that's the case. But just Rudy seems to be like the exception to this rule here, in a way. Now, she also doesn't age. She's been into this world for 5 years, so she doesn't age. She doesn't have any mana herself, but Rudy does. Again, more credibility to Rudy being the exception here, and wants to make a deal with him. She hates this world, just wants to go back, but Rudy loves it, or at least likes it. He doesn't want to go back, and him having that determination and confidence when he said, I love that so much, I have no regrets. Doesn't regret, he doesn't want to go back. This is his life now. He accepted that fact, that role, despite of everything that happened. What would he go back to? His parents, they didn't seem to have a good relationship there, to say the least. He was traumatized in his original world. Here, he actually got a chance to live his life. Of course, traumatic, insane things happened, but at least he was living his life. He was able to make his own choices, even with all of the baggage. Now, here, I like that scene when she took that chair, sat down into it, crossed her legs, very basic instinct, like if you remember that scene. And she wants mana, as in mana from Rudy, for her own experiments, research, to be able to research more about her situation in exchange for information. And pure innocent Sylvie in a corner there while they were talking, and she had no idea, just super confused. She was so cute during this episode, so much. But Rudy finally agrees and even said, hey, let's talk into a language, in a language that everybody's gonna understand. And here the reaction was very expected when she said it. Very poor choice of phrasing and words there, saying the teleportation incident was a backlash from the summoning and I was the cause of it. Maybe I caused it, referring to herself, and you knew what was going to happen. Rudy was relieved it wasn't him, even though it made sense it was around him around the same time. But Sylvie had the most visceral reaction there, and it made perfect sense when you find out, hey, the cause for all your suffering is right in front of you. You're not gonna think of all of the details and wait, considering even more her confusion throughout this episode, not knowing the full context. She didn't understood a lot of the things they're talking about. They're like a different language. Of course, you're not gonna understand it, but even more her own trauma, internal thing, everything she has suffered, everything she has lost, it's in front of her, the cause of it, and she instantly goes in for the attack. But Nanaoshi was able to stop Sylvie's magic, to block her. I think it's related to the rings that she had on her hand, which I hope it's explained a bit more. Did she create those rings because she seems to be really smart? Are they something Orsted gave her to be able to protect herself? Maybe we're gonna find out later on. But Rudy stops Sylvie, calming her down, telling, hey, she's also a victim. She doesn't have any idea how this happened. Maybe she was at the center, but she wasn't the cause, the one responsible behind this. And Orsted also said something very, very curious. Now, he said this was the first time this happened. Now, what does this mean? First time in history, first time in a timeline, first time in this world, as in multiple worlds. Does Orsted know about the other worlds? I'm really curious about what exactly does it mean first time to say. This was something we're probably gonna find out later into the future. So she's trying to figure it out and wanting to go back home. So a lot of things happen in this episode. I probably glossed over a lot of things. You have to really pay attention to this episode, to say the least. A lot of exposition, information done. But after this episode, while I love that, I have so many questions. It's insane how many questions I have, but an amazing episode. I'm so happy we're finally getting back to the main plot, the story, the bigger things that have happened in the series. Not to say I hated the more character focused episode that we had or pretty much the entire season so far, except with a few scenes, but I also love the main story of Mushoku, and I'm so glad we're finally here. And even more with the last scene while they were walking back, Sylvie asking Rudy, what do you think of her? Well, he said, yes, some things I'm very suspicious about. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but I do trust her at least a bit, and she was okay with that. She accepted that, but more to the fact that she trusts Rudy, not that she actually trusts Nanahoshi, and she still has her internal struggle with everything, but the main thing, trying to figure out a way or the best moment to tell Rudy, because she has this fear that maybe he forgotten about her, which it's far from the case, but it's again one of those things which misunderstandings and lack of communication. Part of why I don't like romance anime in general, but at the same time here it makes a bit more sense, and I'm okay with it because it's not the main focus of the plot. Why I don't like, I'm going on a rant here, why I don't like romance anime, because that's the main plot. Here with Mushoku, the main plot is everything more that's happening with the series, the characters, the world, and the way it's presented, it's so good, and this is why I love Mushoku. But yeah, an insane episode, to say the least. I'm really curious what you guys thought about the episode. What do you think about Nanahoshi? Who do you think is that mysterious character that told her she was summoned into this world? And what was your favorite moment? Let me know in the comments below. And especially as a source material reader, what do you think about this episode as opposed to the light novel? Of course, no spoilers, please. Never give me spoilers. Just your thoughts. And as an anime only, what do you think so far of this season? It seems like this is more of a turning point episode in a way. I don't know if it's not on the same level as the two other turning points we've gotten. Maybe we're gonna get one this season also, but it's heading into that direction. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Mushoku. Make sure to check out the podcast also, because anime. I'm gonna see you again in the next one. Bye bye.